Hi everyone, my name is Connor, and this is CORA. Let me start with a question. Imagine a major flood has just hit your city. Thousands of people are displaced, roads are being closed, shelters are filling up, food deliveries are delayed, and you have a limited budget, limited workers, and only a few days to stabilize the situation before conditions get worse. So, what do you prioritize first? That is the kind of challenge organizations like the Red Cross deal with during disaster response. Traditionally, one way they train for these situations is through tabletop exercises. People sitting together, talking through decisions and scenarios. Those exercises are very valuable, but they also are difficult to scale, difficult to repeat consistently, and hard to measure systematically. So that is exactly the problem CORA is designed to address. We built CORA, a collaborative operations and research management game with Agentic AI. It's a disaster response management game inspired by real coordination exercises developed by the American Red Cross. But CORA is more than a game. It is also a research platform for studying how humans and AI work together under time pressure. Let me show you how it works. Imagine you've just been appointed disaster coordinator for your city. A flood has displaced communities across the board. People, referred to as clients in the game, need shelter, food, and support services. You've got a limited budget, a small workforce, and 8 days before the emergency operation winds down. And here's the hard part. You don't fully know what is coming next. Day one is your preparation window before conditions deteriorate. You can build shelters, kitchens, and casework centers. Each solve a different problem, but you cannot afford everything. Think about it. What would you do first? Would you build more shelters in anticipation of displacement? More kitchens in case food demand spikes? Or do you hold resources back because you're worried something worse is coming later? There's no perfect answer here. The goal in Cora is to help disaster managers learn to manage those trade-offs under uncertainty. Disaster managers must keep disaster victims happy and use their limited resources efficiently. Now, facilities themselves are only part of the challenge. You also need people to run them. You have trained and untrained workers. Trained workers are more effective, but training them takes time and money. So here's another decision. Do you invest in training early and hope it pays off later? Or do you keep everyone operational because the next emergency might happen tomorrow? This balance keeps shifting as operations evolve. Sometimes you might be understaffed. Sometimes you may have overcommitted resources. Sometimes demand suddenly drops in one area but spikes somewhere else. In the middle of the operation, things start getting really difficult. Floodwaters expand across the map. Roads become inaccessible. Facilities can be damaged. New requests start arriving faster than you can comfortably handle them. That is usually the time where you realize that you were either overconfident or not prepared enough. Here's a relocation task. A community needs to be evacuated. You've got a few options here. You can use emergency response vehicle. That is cheaper and slower. Or you can pay for immediate evacuation. Faster response, but now your budget takes a major hit. And there's a second decision. Where do you send people? The motel is always available, but it becomes expensive over time. Shelters are cheaper and long term, but only if you built enough capacity earlier. So now you're balancing speed, short-term cost, and long-term sustainability all at once. And honestly, that is the core experience of the game. Here's another example. This community is running low on food. You can deliver supplies from your own kitchens, which is slower but inexpensive. Or you can order emergency delivery, which is immediate but costly. Meanwhile, your client satisfaction is dropping. So what would you do? Protect the budget now or spend aggressively to stabilize the situation? These kinds of decisions are interesting from a research perspective also. People answer these questions very differently under time pressure. And food and shelter are only part of the story. Unexpected events keep appearing. Staffing shortages, budget crises, blocked transportation routes. Even logistics becomes surprisingly important. A flooded road or poorly timed vehicle assignment can ripple through the entire operation. Now, you may have noticed something else happening in the background. You're not managing this disaster alone. The AI agents are constantly monitoring the situation with you. Your teammates are flagging problems, suggesting actions, highlighting risks, and sometimes pushing you towards choices that you may or may not agree with. This raises an important question. When should you trust the AI recommendations, and when should you override them? Sometimes the AI teammate notice patterns that you miss. Other times, you may understand the context better than your AI teammates. The research goal for CORA is to help us understand how humans and AI agents can become effective teammates. We will show you in more detail how the AI agents work a bit later. At the end of each day, you will receive a performance report. You can see how efficiently you used your resources, how well community needs were met, where problems emerged, and how conditions are evolving. It's basically your moment to pause, reassess your strategy, and prepare for whatever happens next. Now, everything you've seen so far is just one scenario, but a really powerful part of Cora is the flexibility and opportunity to connect to real-world situations. Researchers and facilitators can redesign the environment, terrain, road networks, community placement, facilities, and flood zones, all without coding. With the same platform, an organization can simulate hurricane response and another prolonged drought conditions, all within the same platform. And we're just getting started. Here's where Cora is headed. We're building advanced AI teammates, agents with different priorities, communication styles, and decision strategies. We will demonstrate our current developments of LLM AI teammates now. So at this point, you've seen the kind of decisions players have to make in Cora. Where do you build facilities? What resources do you prioritize? Do you hire more workers now or save budget for later? How do you respond to emergencies like flooding, evacuations, or food shortages? And all this is happening simultaneously. In fact, there are roughly 70 possible actions available each turn, and players can combine multiple actions together. So the decision space becomes extremely complex very quickly. That's important because Quora gives us a way to study a really interesting question. What role should AI play when humans are making difficult decisions under pressure? Should AI act independently? Should it advise, negotiate? Should it adapt to different human decision styles over time? Those are exactly the kind of questions we're exploring. So to start exploring this, we've built two early teammate designs, the auto agent and the choices agent. The auto agent acts more autonomously. It makes decisions at the start of a turn and reports what it did and why. The choices agent works a bit differently. Instead of acting for the player, it proposes possible plans and lets the human decide which direction to take. And when we say choices, we really mean coordinated strategies, multiple actions grouped together around a particular goal. So let's look at an example. At the start of the scenario, there's already a huge amount happening. The player's overloaded with decisions. The choices agent proposes several strategies, but maybe I care a lot more about budget or investing in trained workers for the long term. So I can communicate those preferences directly to the agent. The AI then adapts its recommendations and proposes new plans that better match my priorities. And that interaction is actually one of the most exciting research pieces for us. These conversations help us understand how humans communicate goals, how AI systems adapt to different decision makers, and how trust and collaboration develop over time. So, where is Cora headed? You'll start seeing smarter AI teammates in action, agents with different priorities, personalities, and decision styles that collaborate with you in realistic ways. We're also bringing real-world data like hazard maps and infrastructure layouts, so scenarios reflect actual places and risks. As Cora grows, it becomes not just a training tool, but a research platform for data collection on human AI teammates and how they make decisions together under pressure. Ultimately, the goal is to help organizations like the Red Cross prepare teams more effectively before the next real disaster happens. Thanks for listening.